Good morning and welcome back to True Line Global, where we break down the biggest stories in global news and US politics without the spin, just the facts. I'm your host, and today, we're diving into one of the most watched diplomatic encounters of 2025, the face-to-face meeting between President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Picture this, it's October 30th, 2025, at Gimhae Air Base in Busan, South Korea. The two most powerful leaders on the planet sit down amid rising trade tensions that have rattled markets from Wall Street to Shanghai. This isn't just another photo op, it's a high-stakes bid to reset the course of US-China relations. And by the end of it, Trump is calling it an amazing breakthrough. Stick around as we unpack what went down, what they agreed on, and what it could mean for everything from your grocery bill to global security. Let's start with the why. For years, the US and China have been locked in a trade standoff that kicked off during Trump's first term. Tariffs on billions in goods, restrictions on tech exports, and disputes over everything from soybeans to semiconductors have cost American farmers and manufacturers dearly. Just recently, China slapped export controls on rare earth minerals, those critical components in everything from electric cars to fighter jets, prompting Trump to threaten even steeper tariffs. Enter this meeting, held on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, summit. It's the first time these two have met in person since 2019, and it comes as Trump wraps up a whirlwind Asia tour that included trade pacts with South Korea and a peace declaration between Thailand and Cambodia. Back home, a partial government shutdown is grinding things to a halt, adding extra pressure for quick wins abroad. B94243 But here in Busan, the focus was laser-sharp, de-escalating the economic Cold War. So, what did they talk about? Reports from the scene paint a picture of marathon negotiations covering trade, security, and even humanitarian crises. At the top of the list, tariffs and a potential trade framework. Trump emerged saying the two sides had agreed on almost everything, hammering out a one-year deal to manage economic ties, with plans to renegotiate annually and possibly extend it if things go well. On rare earths, that thorny issue blocking U.S. supply chains, China agreed to roll back some export restrictions. Trump called it settled and a major roadblock cleared. And for American farmers hit hard by China's earlier buying freeze on U.S. soybeans, good news, Beijing committed to snapping up large quantities immediately, alongside other farm products, which could pump billions back into rural economies. Then there's the fentanyl crisis gripping the U.S. Trump linked it directly to trade, announcing a cut in related tariffs on Chinese goods from 20% down to 10%. It's a step aimed at curbing the flow of precursor chemicals across the Pacific, though experts note enforcement will be key. The talks didn't stop at economics. Geopolitics took center stage too. The leaders discussed Russia's war in Ukraine, pledging to work together toward an end, though specifics on things like China's oil purchases from Moscow weren't on the table, and in a surprise twist, Trump revealed plans for the U.S. to resume nuclear testing, responding to recent moves by Russia and China. He framed it as putting America on an equal basis with its rivals, but it sent ripples of concern through diplomatic circles about a potential arms race reboot. After the handshakes and the closed doors, both men stepped out with measured optimism. Trump, speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One as he departed South Korea, didn't hold back. It was an amazing meeting, a great success, he said, rating it a 12 on a scale of 10. He heaped praise on Xi, calling him a great leader, a friend, and a very tough negotiator. Trump even floated future visits. He'll head to Beijing in April, with Xi potentially reciprocating in the U.S., maybe at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, or straight to Washington. Xi, ever the diplomat, struck a more conciliatory note. He commended Trump's recent peacemaking efforts, like brokering a Gaza ceasefire and that Thailand-Cambodia accord, saying the U.S. and China do not always see eye to eye, but that steady relations are essential. China's development goes hand in hand with your vision to make America great again, Xi remarked, tying Beijing's growth to Washington's ambitions. Notably, China's official readout was light on details, no big announcements from Beijing's side just yet, which isn't unusual for their style. Now, let's zoom out to the bigger picture. Markets reacted swiftly. China's Shanghai Composite surged past 4,000 points for the first time in years, signaling investor bets on smoother trade flows. U.S. Soybean prices jumped on news of those purchases, a lifeline for Midwest growers who've been squeezed by the tariff tit-for-tat. But it's not all green lights. Critics point out the one-year deal leaves room for uncertainty. Renegotiations could reignite tensions if progress stalls. And that nuclear testing pledge? It's drawn sharp rebukes from arms control advocates, who warn it could unravel decades of non-proliferation gains. This fits into Trump's broader Asia push, strengthening alliances with South Korea on trade details, while keeping North Korea's Kim Jong-un on the radar, Trump said he'd love a sit-down but his schedule was too packed this trip. Meanwhile, the U.S. government shutdown back home underscores the domestic stakes. Any wins abroad could bolster Trump's hand in budget battles. On the global stage, this could signal a multipolar shift. Collaboration on Ukraine hints at China playing a bigger broker role, potentially pressuring Russia without alienating its partner. For everyday Americans, it might mean steadier prices on electronics and cars, thanks to those rare earth easings. But watch this space. US-China ties have thawed before, only to freeze up again. As always, that's the latest on the Trump-Xi summit, a tentative step toward detente in one of the world's most vital relationships. What do you think? Breakthrough or just a band-aid? Drop your take in the comments below, and hit that like button if this breakdown helped cut through the noise. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more unbiased dives into geopolitics, current affairs, and US politics. We've got eyes on the April Beijing trip. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.